Alright, let's talk about building a gaming PC on a budget. This is where things get really interesting. You've probably been looking at the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 and the AMD Radeon RX 7600. These are the two heavy hitters in the mainstream market right now, as of August 2025. Both of these graphics cards promise great gaming experiences at 1080p, which is still the most popular resolution for PC gamers. So, the big question is, which one should you actually buy? It's a classic Team Green versus Team Red scenario. Each card has its own strengths and weaknesses, and the right choice for you really depends on what you value most in your gaming setup. When we look at raw gaming performance without any fancy features turned on, the competition is incredibly tight. In traditional rasterization, which is how most games have worked for years, these two cards often trade blows. In one game, like Cyberpunk 2077 with ray tracing off, you might see the RTX 4060 pull slightly ahead. But then you can fire up another title, maybe something like Call of Duty, and the RX 7600 might match it or even beat it by a few frames per second. For the most part, you can expect a very similar level of performance from both GPUs when you're just playing games in the good old-fashioned way at 1080p with high settings. This makes the decision a bit tricky if you only care about standard gaming performance. Both cards are more than capable of delivering over 60 frames per second in almost any modern game at 1080p. This means you'll get a smooth, enjoyable experience no matter which one you choose. If your goal is simply to play the latest titles without breaking the bank, neither the RTX 4060 nor the RX 7600 will disappoint you. They are both fantastic entry points into modern PC gaming, providing a huge upgrade over older cards or integrated graphics. They are designed for this exact purpose and they deliver on that promise exceptionally well. So, if their performance is so similar in traditional gaming, what's the big deal? Why is this even a debate? Well, the real differences start to appear when we look beyond just the raw frame rates. The story changes when we start talking about more advanced features. This includes things like ray tracing, which creates more realistic lighting and shadows, and AI-powered upscaling technologies that can boost your performance significantly. These features are where NVIDIA and AMD have taken very different approaches, and understanding them is the key to making the right choice for your next gaming rig. It's not just about the frames you get, but how you get them. Let's dive into ray tracing. This is the technology that makes game lighting look incredibly realistic, with shadows and reflections that behave just like they do in the real world. This is where the NVIDIA RTX 4060 really starts to shine. NVIDIA has been working on its ray tracing hardware for several generations now, and it shows. When you turn on ray tracing in games like Alan Wake 2 or Minecraft with RTX, the RTX 4060 maintains much more playable frame rates compared to the RX 7600. The performance hit from enabling this demanding feature is simply much smaller on the NVIDIA card, giving it a clear and undeniable advantage in this area. On the other side, we have AMD's RX 7600. While it is capable of ray tracing, it just isn't as powerful in this department. When you enable ray tracing features on the RX 7600, you'll see a much larger drop in performance. In many demanding titles, turning on ray tracing can make the game feel sluggish, or even unplayable, without seriously lowering other settings. This doesn't mean the RX 7600 is a bad card, not at all. It just means that if playing games with the absolute best-looking lighting and reflections is your top priority, the RTX 4060 is without a doubt the stronger contender of the two. AMD is improving, but NVIDIA still holds the crown here. Now let's talk about the magic of upscaling. This is where AI comes in to save the day. NVIDIA has DLSS 3, which stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling. The RTX 4060 has a feature called Frame Generation, which is exclusive to the 40 series cards. It uses AI to create entirely new frames and insert them between the regular ones, making the game feel incredibly smooth. This can dramatically boost your frame rates, especially when used with ray tracing. The image quality of DLSS is also widely considered to be excellent, sometimes looking even better than the native resolution. This is a huge selling point for the RTX 4060. AMD has its own answer to this called FSR3 or Fidelity FX Super Resolution. The great thing about FSR is that it's open source, meaning it can run on almost any graphics card, including NVIDIA's and older AMD models. FSR3 also includes its own version of frame generation. While it provides a significant performance boost, many critics and gamers agree that the image quality isn't quite as clean as DLSS. Furthermore, because NVIDIA's DLSS frame generation is tied to its dedicated hardware, it often feels a little more polished. So, while both offer a path to higher frames, NVIDIA's DLSS 3 is generally seen as the more mature and higher quality technology right now. Let's look at some of the other important factors, starting with power efficiency. This is an area where NVIDIA's RTX 4060 has a major lead. Thanks to its newer architecture, the RTX 4060 uses significantly less electricity to deliver its performance. It has a rated power draw of just 115 watts. This is fantastic because it means the card runs cooler and quieter. You also won't need a massive, expensive power supply to run it. For people building in small cases or those who are conscious about their electricity bill, the efficiency of the RTX 4060 is a huge plus that shouldn't be overlooked. The AMD RX 7600, on the other hand, is a bit more power-hungry. Its official power rating is around 165 watts. While this is still not a huge amount of power compared to high-end cards, it's noticeably more than the RTX 4060. This means it will likely run a bit hotter and may require your case fans to spin a little faster to keep it cool, which can lead to more noise. You'll also need to make sure your power supply is up to the task, though most modern 550-watt or 650-watt units will handle it just fine. It's a key difference that could matter depending on your specific build and priorities. Now for a hot topic, VRAM, or video memory. Both the RTX 4060 and the RX 7600 come equipped with 8GB of GDDR6 memory. For 1080p gaming, 8GB is generally considered sufficient right now. However, some of the newest and most demanding games are starting to push past this limit, especially if you want to use the highest texture settings. This has led to some debate in the community about whether 8GB is enough for a card to last several years. Neither card has a clear advantage here, as they both have the same amount of memory, but it's something to be aware of for future proofing. Finally, we have to talk about the most important factor for many people: the price. Typically, the AMD Radeon RX 7600 is launched at a lower price point than the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060. We're usually talking about a difference of around $30 to $50 depending on the market and any ongoing sales. For a budget-conscious builder, saving that money could mean upgrading another part of your system, like getting a faster SSD or more RAM. This price advantage is AMD's trump card. It forces you to ask, are the extra features of the RTX 4060, like better ray tracing and DLSS, worth the extra cost? So, after all that, which card should end up in your shopping cart? The decision really boils down to what you prioritize and how much you are willing to spend. There isn't one single best card for everyone. The best card is the one that fits your specific needs and budget. If you're trying to squeeze every last drop of performance out of your dollar for traditional gaming, the choice becomes very interesting. Both cards offer a fantastic 1080p experience, but their feature sets create a clear fork in the road. Let's break it down into a simple summary to help you decide. You should probably choose the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 if you care a lot about ray tracing and want to play games with the most realistic lighting effects enabled. You are excited about DLSS 3 and frame generation, and want the highest possible frame rates with great image quality. Power efficiency is important to you. You want a card that runs cool, quiet, and won't strain your power supply or your wallet with high electricity bills. You are willing to pay a small premium for these advanced features and greater efficiency. On the other hand, you should probably pick the AMD Radeon RX 7600 if your main goal is to get the best possible raw gaming performance for the lowest possible price. You mostly play esports titles or other games where ray tracing is not a major feature or priority for you. You want a card that offers great 1080p performance and don't mind that its ray tracing capabilities are weaker. Saving every dollar on your build is crucial, and you'd rather put that extra money towards other components like a better CPU or more storage. In conclusion, this is a fantastic time to be a 1080p gamer. The competition between NVIDIA and AMD has given us two very compelling options. The RTX 4060 is the more feature-rich and efficient package, offering a glimpse into the future with its strong ray tracing and impressive DLSS 3 technology. The RX 7600 is the value champion, delivering raw performance that punches well above its price tag. Think carefully about the types of games you play and what features matter most to you. Either way, you're going to get a great graphics card that will serve you well for years of gaming.